The first time she saw him, he was standing in the rain outside a bookshop on a street she had never walked down before. She had taken a wrong turn. She was late for something she no longer remembers. And there he was, tall, unhurried, reading the titles in the window with the kind of attention most people save for things they love. He didn't look up. She walked past. She thought nothing of it. The second time was 3 weeks later, at a market on the other side of the city. She was buying peaches. He was 2 stalls down, talking to someone, laughing at something, and she felt the recognition before she placed his face. She almost said something. She didn't. By the third time, she had started to wonder. It was a gallery opening she almost hadn't attended. A friend had given her a spare ticket. She had arrived late, glass of white wine in hand, moving slowly through the crowd, and she turned a corner into a quieter room, soft lighting, abstract oils, no one else, and found him standing in front of a painting of the sea. He turned at the sound of her footsteps. He said, "I was wondering when you'd come in here." She said, "You know me?" He said, "No, but I've seen you before, and I had a feeling this room was where you'd end up." His name was Luca. He worked in architecture. He said he noticed rooms before people usually. She asked him why this time was different. He looked at her for a moment, unhurried, in the same way he had looked at those book titles in the rain, as though he had all the time in the world to get this exactly right. He said, "Some people change a room just by being in it." She stayed in that gallery until closing. They walked out into a warm evening, the street still gold from the last of the sun, and talked for 2 hours, standing beside a canal she had never noticed before. She learned that he had grown up by the sea, that he cooked badly and ate well, that he had a habit of arriving somewhere early and waiting to see what happened. She asked him if he had been waiting for her, at the bookshop, at the market. He smiled and said he hadn't known who he was waiting for. That was the honest answer, he said. The other honest answer was that every time he had seen her, he had felt certain he would see her again. At 10 o'clock, he said he had to go. He had an early start, somewhere to be, something he couldn't move. He did not ask for her number. She did not offer it. They stood for a moment in that particular quiet that sits between something ending and something beginning. Then he said, "There's a small restaurant on the corner of Viale Beatrice. Thursday evenings, it's never full. I usually eat there around 8. She said, "Is that an invitation?" He said, "It's information. What you do with it is entirely up to you." She watched him walk away down the canal path, unhurried, hands in his pockets. On Thursday, she arrived at 7:50. She wore the blue dress. She did not tell anyone where she was going. He was already there. He had, of course, arrived early. When she walked in, he looked up from the menu, and his face did something quiet and certain, and he said, "I hoped you'd come." She sat down across from him and said, "I know."